Hi guys. How's everybody doing? We are back with the boys of the Black Tower. We are here on a Tuesday for a live recording. Jesus Christ, the number of bottles of Sailor Jerry that Josh pulls out on a daily recording basis is so many.
He got me that time because I remember seeing the fully empty bottle. I'm like, oh, sweet, I'm not the only one that's pretty much out of alcohol.
Oh no!
And then he pulls out a fresh fucking handle. I'm like, no.
You got Ashaman are always prepared, my guy.
Hey, he's got a little Bailey's, so he's also.
Yeah, I got a little Bailey's.
Got a little Bailey.
I got a 3 a.m. drive, so I'm prepared to drive to the place where I can drink all the taint with all the peoples.
Mine's not tainty because I'm with my family.
I'm just
sounds like all the
you guys know what time it is.
Yep, it is time for another episode of the Black Tower podcast. And guest, because today we do have a special guest on our episode as well, but we will get to that in a minute because it will be very clear why she's here once we tell you what we're talking about. But before we get to that, we need to introduce ourselves. So hi everybody, I am your Amin Khan Mahale, Daniel.
And I'm your juicy Mahale, Josh.
I hate you so much right now.
And I am your physically ill Mahale, Andrew.
And we are the boys from the Black Tower podcast, which is a Wheel of Time podcast. You know us, we get together every Tuesday and talk Wheel of Time, all things Wheel of Time. Almost nothing is off limits, and neither are most of us. But
hey,
oh, that is very good to know. Thank you for mentioning that. I'll keep that in mind for next JordanCon.
Indeed. Well, there you go. So
what have you done?
We have a few things to talk about today. Number one is, if this is the first time you are listening to the show, you're going to want to get all of that tainty goodness, which comes from blacktowerpod.com. That is your one-stop shop for everything Black Tower. It's got our merch shop, which the lovely Josh is going ahead and modeling
Juicy
for
Josh.
you, Vanna White style. I'm not going to say it. You're not going to convince me to say it.
Read the nipple.
All right, there we go.
Hashtag.
And then we also have all of our socials on there as well. We have the most recent 5 episodes that you can catch on our website as well, along with a bunch of other fun things. So if you've not yet gone to blacktowerpod.com, definitely go check it out. After you have gone to blacktowerpod.com, you're going to want to go ahead and check out watcon.com, because by the time you are hearing this episode, unless you're live right now, WatCon will be over for 2022, and I'm pretty sure there are going to be a boatload of pictures on there. So if you missed out, go and check out pictures, go and check out videos, go and check out recordings. A lot of stuff is going to be on the website. And if not, be patient. It is a big event, and so we're definitely going to be getting things on there throughout the coming weeks. And now, which one are we plugging today, Andrew?
New Creations by Jen. As you can see, Josh wearing that fabulous shirt over there, the Two River Sniper shirt. You can go and get your very own from New Creations by Jen. So head on over to blacktowerpod.com. You'll see a button for our merch that says New Creations by Jen. Click right there, and it'll take you to where you can see all the Black Tower podcast-inspired merch that Jen and Rob are so kind to provide on New Creations by Jen. A lot of our...
The Two River Sniper as a shot glass.
Yes, it is also in shot glass form.
See what we did there? Okay, I'm done.
There's also a shot glass that says "Taste the Taint."
Correct.
No, that's what I was about to say. A fair number of our patrons just recently got the Taste the Taint shot glass in the mail. If you didn't and you were supposed to, you know who you are. Which shouldn't be anybody, because I did send one to everybody. May just not have made it out yet. I know one person at least got it. So I'm going to assume that means absolutely everybody got it.
Which would be
I
nice.
know of at least another one. So yes, we're good, I think.
Yeah.
Which
But go
to
check
be-
out
Also,
New Creation.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
So yeah, go check out New Creations by Jen. It's the only place where you can get our Two Rivers Sniper stuff right now, including the shirt, the shot glass, the Taste of Taint shot glass, and it is the only place where you can get your frosty mugs from the Wheel of Time content creator community. So you've got ours, Malkier Talks, Kate Reading, and Michael Kramer, Will Reads, Will Weaves, a whole bunch, or Will Takes, and Will Reads, and Will Weaves. They're all on there.
All the
A lot of
wheels.
wheels.
All the wheels.
All the wheels.
Every single one of them.
So there's a whole bunch of stuff there. Go and check it out. And with whatever money you have left after you're done buying up all the Black Hour podcast stuff, show some support and love to the other content creators out there that definitely make merch. It's almost as good as ours.
Well, I mean,
Okay, there.
yeah, you are. We are in the presence of the Roofmistress from the Threefold Talks.
Indeed.
We don't need her talking to the rest of her Aiel sisters about us dogging on her merch line. But now that I've let this cat out of the bag, Roofmistress,
is there?
would you do us the honor? What?
I was going to ask, is there threefold stuff on New Creation?
No, so there's not on New Creation.
I'm safe. Kiss my ass.
You are
Okay, good.
no, but we do have excellent merch. So
All right.
don't get sassy about the merch there, mister.
Always get that
So,
about merch.
Roofmistress Leia, please introduce yourself and tell the people what you do, and let's get this party started.
All right.
Sit back on your dagger and be free.
Yes. Thank you for that polite invitation to spill all the beans.
Indeed.
Did you have to look that up?
I did not.
Oh. Well, I'm very impressed then. You have much G. So as Josh said,
I'm all about that G, no toe. So
I am Roofmistress Leia. I am one of 4 Aiel and 1 token Wetlander on the Threefold Talk. Yeah. It took us like almost a year to like figure that out. Kind of sad. So we do a live YouTube show every Thursday evening at 9 p.m. Eastern, and you can obviously catch it later if you are not available for the live ones, but we have a lot of fun and chat. We do weekly Wheel of Time news as a segment every time, and then the rest of it is just kind of the craziness that evolves out of whatever our brains come up with. So it's part variety show, part news, part serious. We do dream interpretations and advice columns periodically.
Nice.
So, yeah. So
there's also lots of stabby stab.
Lots of stabby stabs. We like our stabby stabs.
Is it Dear Stabby? Is that what you do? It's not.
Oh no, we just time to stabby stab everyone. Oh, it's Dear Wise One. It's Wise One Shelley. So
okay.
Yeah, no.
Dear Wise One.
Yeah, we do have an actual Wise One.
In fact,
awesome.
Right. Well, welcome to the Black Tower. You've been here before, but welcome back for another rousing episode. Today, we are going to be talking about something that spoils basically the entire series. Pretty darn far into it. I don't think it actually quite goes into book 14 that much, but definitely enough and close enough that we're just going to spoiler you for the whole series. So, Andrew, do we have a spoiler warning set up and ready to go? Wonderful. Then let's protect the people.
Welcome to the Black Tower. This is your spoiler condom. If you have not read the complete works of Robert Jordan, The Wheel of Time, books 1 to 14, and also New Spring, Big Bad Book of White Arts, and The Companion, you are at risk of being spoiled. Spoilers come with side effects. These side effects may include headache, nausea, vomiting, death, dizziness, vaginal or penile eruptions and ejaculations, dysentery, cardiac arrhythmia, mild heart explosions, varicose veins, darkened stool, darkened souls, more vomiting, arthritis, hemorrhoids or diabetes, virginity, mild discomfort, vampirism or werewolfism, gender inequality for the whole planet, spontaneous dental hydroplosion, sugar highs, even more vomiting, or maybe just a mild rash. If you cannot deal with these side effects, please leave now for fear of spoilers. You have been warned.
So that would be the
Heed
token
this warning.
who's on the threefold talk there.
Yeah, that's Rob, our Malkier. So Malkier
He knows a
Talks.com.
thing or two about toe.
Malkir's
does.
first best chef and its third best swordsman.
That's right.
Okay. We'll have that that's a conversation for later.
But yes. So since you are here, Leia, do you know our topic today? And would you like to introduce our topic since she used to be a friend of yours at some?
Oh, excuse you. First of all,
Oh,
let's she is a fellow Roofmistress. And when I was talking with you guys at JordanCon, and I was like, oh, totally sober, because I was totally sober at JordanCon. It's like, I would love to be on your show. And you guys are like, let's talk about a Wise One. And then after you guys' Red Aja episode, most people villainize the Red Ajas a lot, but you guys really made me want to almost convert from a blue Aja to a red Aja. Almost.
Wow.
Or sorry, green Aja, but I still want all the warders. So maybe fourth age where we get to have all the Ashaman warders, maybe I will be a red Aja.
Wow.
With that being said, I was just like, you know what? I love this spin that you guys put on this. I was like, what is a female Aiel that people don't particularly care for that maybe we could see if we could glean? And so two came to mind was Sevanna and Tharabra. And so we decided to tackle Sevanna tonight, which I'm very excited for. I almost wore like an entire boatload of necklaces and like in the sweat top.
Indeed.
it's another BTPBB Black Tower Podcast Background Breakdown.
Just had acronym flashbacks to my time in service. How dare you?
Yeah. Why would you do that?
Yeah. I don't know. Like, we'll see, because
why not? Because why not?
I'm like, oh yeah.
For me, like, Savannah takes all of the assumedly bad parts of Bear Lane, combines them, cranks them up to about 3,000, and then looks at the Aiel, and she's like the Choff Aiel of the Aiel. To me,
that's a really good analogy. I like that.
Like, she plays at being Aiel while doing her best Bear Lane, but like the alternate negative dimension version of Bear Lane, where it's not like, I'm just trying to keep my home country safe and I'll do whatever I have to. It's I'll do whatever I have to just have whatever I want.
Yeah, I was gonna say in every situation possible because I want all the things.
And you're kind of getting to like, as I was doing the research for this, I was trying to again reframe how because honestly, at the end of this, bottom line up front, I still fucking hate this bitch.
Yep.
She is still awful, but there are positive things that you can glean from her, like, and we'll get more into it, but she is very driven even from a very young age. Yes. She does have this vision. She does believe that the Aiel can change and do something different and better. She just doesn't execute it very well. So like so she's got these things that are positive about her. It's just not, again, well executed.
Just at the end of the day, it's not the kind of thing where she actually comes out on top. She actually comes out very much not on top. I think we would
You could
definitely
say
Well,
the
different
bottom.
story if she had been successful. I definitely think that the historians would have written her story a little differently.
oh yeah.
Well,
The historians, Robert Jordan.
right. That therein lies the issue, right? The difference between a patriot and a tyrant is
Who wins?
if you win or not.
Yeah, for sure.
In this particular case, Sevanna is
Difference
an
between a patriot and a
ambitious-
tyrant.
traitor. Sorry, patriot and traitor.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, there we go. I was like,
Sorry,
no,
my bad.
I have serious disagreements with that. But now, no.
Well, but I
Anyway.
mean, yeah, there's like so many circumstances in history that,
Right.
I mean,
Are they
history is written,
martyr
history is
or are
written
they
by
a
the
criminal?
winner.
Are
So
they
yeah, so whoever wins, the person on the other side is very much demonized.
Always the
Yeah.
bad guy.
Yeah.
But so with respect to Sevanna here, she is a wise one of the Jumai Sept.
Hmm.
She is a member of the Shido. Her designs are to be, a very powerful wise woman. She wants to be known throughout history as one of the greatest Aiel wise ones ever. And eventually even has designs on marrying Rand,
Yep.
whom
By
she
force.
fully believes is the Karakarn.
Nope.
Eventually,
But it's
she
for
eventually
her.
comes back
Eventually,
to.
Correct.
eventually, yes.
Well,
But, but
it's. I think that's her belief is it's convenient for her to believe that.
Oh,
because she
and
does
that's
also
the thing.
believe it's Couladin for a while. So in, and from the Aiel culture perspective, women are the only ones who are allowed to own property, and to become. But you don't get elected to be the roof mistress of a clan. You have to marry the clan chief.
Correct.
So, and she actually very early on, when she's 16, marries Soladric. And there's almost no background on him besides his name and that he dies. So, yeah.
In 999.
Yeah.
I think I have an idea how he dies.
Actually, I had that written down as a question for you guys, what you guys thought about that, if like she had a hand in it one way or another.
I don't think she
But I
did.
mean, you don't think she did? You think Couladin?
I think Samael did.
Ooh.
Oh, interesting.
I think Samael
was-
did it to make way for the easily manipulatable Couladin and the fucking
Well,
Moradin,
Muradin
however
was
you say it.
next in
Muradin.
line.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Muradin
So if
does
you-
not make it through.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, you kill Soledric, so you have two people that are next in line that are already primed for manipulation.
Yep.
Okay.
So one way or the other, if one of them,
Okay.
you have a 50-50 shot at least one of them making it out of there. And who's to say that Samael didn't interfere in the crystal columns to ensure that the least manipulatable one did not return?
So the only thing that I would have to say against that theory, because I love that theory, but the only thing that I would say against it is that Rand, especially when he was at Tyr, he was trying very hard to do what they didn't expect. So everybody was expecting him to raise an army of Tyrants to go invade Ilion, and he's like, nope, we're going to threefold land. So it was kind of it was a very secret decision. He was the only person who knew that he wanted to do that. So it would have been like one of those chess moves that would have happened way ahead of time. And then either Rand changed the entire layout of the chessboard. He went from our type of chess to Star Wars chess, or not Star Wars, Star Trek chess. So he just totally changed the entire game.
So with that, like, Samael has been watching and wary of them from the start, and knows very early on that they have made the move into the Aiel waste.
Mm-hmm. But to kill Soladric would have had to happen
it would have been way
beforehand.
earlier.
Yeah, like possibly before Tyr fell, in order to give the Shido time to get to Ruidion to elect a potential chief, and like it's I'm nitpicking a little bit at the timelines.
Yeah. I mean, I still think it's definitely possible because
it's possible.
He knows the prophecies, the Corinthian cycle, just as much as anybody else does. So they know that eventually it doesn't matter when Rand or whoever the dragon is. Let's assume he just doesn't fully know for sure at this time. That at some point the dragon's going to go into the Aiel waste. It's part of the prophecy. It's going to happen. Yeah. And why not go ahead and start setting up things to work in your favor? Because the more of the Aiel that believe that Couladin or Mordrin is the Karakarn, then the easier it is to like rob Rand of that power, at least up to a degree.
Well, and Samael's the main one who was fucking with the Aiel in the first place, right? Isn't he the one that gave them the idiot boxes?
Oh, well, that's later.
Yeah.
That's later.
Boxes?
The call boxes, yes.
But translated directly.
Yeah. Out of the old tongue, yes, it's called the idiot box. Yeah. But that's later. That's after.
Yeah. That's much later.
So again, trying and I think that does a little bit support Andrew's theory that Samael has a vested interest, even though Asmodean is the one that gives Couladin the dual tattoos.
I thought that was Asmodean.
Asmodean's the one that gave him the dual tattoos.
That's what you just said.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Way to listen to me.
Samael.
Way to listen to me.
But it is interesting that at that point, Samael is already working with Grandal, so it's entirely possible that Grandal just walks around just assassinating people for, future reasons of her own.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
She just went ahead and murdered Sevanna's husband to go ahead and throw all of this. Maybe he was walking out of a pantry and he just goes, "You?" and then dies.
Because we've never seen that before.
So fun, interesting story. Just kind of getting back to Savannah-centric discourse here. At this point in time that we know of, Savannah's done nothing wrong. She's ambitious. She's driven. She's motivated. And she's like, I'm married, a clan chief. I am a roof mistress at age 16. I am a badass. I am doing great things. I want to get bigger and better. And then Soladric dies. We don't know the circumstances of which. As an ambitious woman, with that fire, with that hunger, naturally what she needs to do is secure her place by cozying up to and I'm not saying this for I'm saying it with respect to the Aiel society. And
what she does, she actually has a great quote in Crown of Swords. She says, Mordin and Couladin each believed he alone had captured her interest. This is in the third person. And when Mordin failed to return from Meridian, as so many men did, one smile convinced Couladin that he had overwhelmed her.
Yep.
Yeah, she was very good at what she did, and I like the callback to Bearlane because everybody likes to give Bearlane shit. Everybody likes to give Bearlane shit and be like, "Really, girl, just using your body?" And we're like, first off, shake what your mama gave you. First off,
it's also her choice.
Nothing to be ashamed of there.
She's using that as a choice, and it's no different than knowing somebody has a weakness for wine and getting them the best of the wines. Sorry.
Sorry.
I would totally fall for that, by the way.
Roofmistress Leia.
No, just an example.
No, but
it's funny because everybody assumes that Bearlane is just being a floozy, and she's actually not. She's actually still a virgin by the time she meets Khaled.
Yeah.
or go
Yeah.
on.
And so you got Sevanna, who's doing not exactly the same thing, but she's very proud of her figure, and
Well,
she's not afraid to.
And she's also not stupid. She's not stupid. She's like, and you can see some of the moves that she makes as we get through the discussion. We'll get a little bit more in detail, but yeah, she's very calculated. So I feel like she would be a good chess or rocks, stones player, whatever the fuck we're calling it these days. What book series are we reading and talking about? Yeah, so like she's very good at those social tactics and like even the political tactics, as we'll see again as we get a little bit more into the discussion. So we haven't even got to the part where she's formally introduced the book. We're just talking about her her widow, like, you know, her husband who died, and then
well, it's interesting because along with her introduction, Rand and party come up to the hills, and they're like, sweet. Rand is like, cool, what are we doing here? Let's do the thing. And Moraine's like, well, you got to go down into that. And then the wise ones are like, wait, no, he doesn't. And he's like, yeah, I do. And they're like, oh, okay, you do. Matt's like, cool, guess I do too. And then Moraine's like, yeah, I guess I'm gonna go too. And then Avienda's like,
and they're like, hey, you also have to go.
no, I'm good.
Well, I mean, it's interesting too to like remember like the different reasons why they know where they say they're going. Avienda is because the obvious thing. The wise ones already know that she has a proclivity for channeling, and that she has been chosen to become a wise one's apprentice. So that's why she has to go. That is her cultural and duty responsibility.
And
but
she's kind of
for Moraine,
yeah,
because she doesn't want to give up the spheres. Which, I mean, if you grow up knowing that and you have such a camaraderie with your friends then, and it's all you've ever known, it's understandable. But Rand, Matt, and Moraine are going because of a redstone doorway where some sneaky boys said, no, you gotta go. And unfortunately, I mean, we do find out what Moraine and Rand are told, but we only see it through Matt's point of view. And they're basically just like...
wise ones actually give a little bit more away to Moraine than they meant to about their dreams about her and going to Viridian. So Moraine's like, okay, guess I'm going. Takes off her clothes and starts running.
Yeah.
Whee!
But it's one of those
like running without a bra in.
I wouldn't know.
Good way to get a black eye. You kidding?
Anyway. Yeah, but back to Sevanna. But Savannah's there in the background the whole time, and she is noted out. And basically, I think as we've already discussed, like she's a beautiful woman, and not only is she a beautiful woman, she knows how to dress to call attention to herself a little bit. So she makes and as someone who makes very deliberate clothing decisions, like I understand that. So, you know, the Aiel aren't really known for their local fashion, but she finds a way to distinguish herself one way or another.
She and as we've kind of touched on before, you know, she has Muradin and Couladin eating out of the palm of her hands, and already had
eating out of the palm of her hands and making other things. So
there's nothing that can convince me that she doesn't already have plans C, D, E, and F to further her cause and to further the cause of the Shido. Because here's the other thing about her. She is very ambitious in a very selfish kind of way, but she wants the Karakarn to come from the Shido. She wants glory to the Shido. She wants to lead the Shido into greatness. So there's probably a philosophical debate to be made there, because, you know, something we say around here a lot, a rising tide raises all ships.
Yeah.
She's looking to raise the tide of the Shido and further their influence.
She does firmly believe that she is a good leader and can be a good leader for the Shido. and then we could discuss like as we move forward a little bit whether how well she actually executes that, because in a way she does. Like
she bets on the wrong horse. She does everything right, but she bets on the wrong horse. She
continually bets on the wrong horse, but then at one point the wrong horse is her.
She's a good manipulator. She's an ineffective strategist.
Yes.
Because she has the forethought. Well, so obviously at some point, Sevanna, Couladin, and Asmodean meet and talk. And
do you think she's actually there? That was one question I had, because we definitely know it's Couladin and Asmodean, but
yeah, I think she's there.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think she. And another question that I had, because Couladin is just not necessarily the brightest crayon in the coloring box. So as we go down and talk about all the Couladin decisions, I constantly wrote down the questions again and again and again.
Actually,
it's so repetitive. How much of this is Savanna's influence? Like how much of this is her?
I retract that. She couldn't have been there, because she would have been able to tell Couladin the truth of their history.
Oh, that's true.
And so he wouldn't have made an ass of himself saying that's bullshit, automatically telling the rest of the clan chiefs and wise ones that he was full of shit.
But Sevanna wouldn't have. No, Sevanna never went through.
No, yeah. She went through the full Wise One process.
No. Oh, we'll get to that. No, she did not.
Okay.
She absolutely did not. She had no idea.
Okay.
So, and if she didn't know, then yes, she was there with them.
She got in. She got to be a Wise One through the Wise One loophole. As I just declare myself to be a Wise One. So, which is what took Avienda so freaking long, because Avienda was just like, I'm just terrible and whatever, and all the Wise Ones had to literally give her meaningless tasks until she had the confidence in herself to say, I'm a freaking Wise One. Why the fuck don't y'all respect me? And then they're like, okay, yeah, no, that's what we're waiting for. Now you can go through.
That's right. She always kind of had like an excuse or something why she can't go to Iridian.
Yeah,
it was always like, you're a Wise One, you need to go to Iridian. Okay, yeah.
But she never declared herself. She always Avienda self-deprecated herself so much and would never declare herself a Wise One.
Yeah. No. We're talking about Sevanna.
Sevanna was just like, no, I'm a Wise One.
And then they keep going, all right, cool, you need to go back to Iridian.
They never said that she had
to go. Yeah, cool. Then at
that point, everything had already been revealed. Everything had already been revealed. So they're like, I think that's when they were figuring out their customs.
I'm saying up until this point, I seem to recall someone mentioning to Sevanna that she needs to go to Iridian, and she's like, yeah, in a minute.
Oh, well, I think that's with respect to being a clan chief.
She kind of sidesteps the whole thing.
Yeah. So because she's claimed, like she had the balls to say, I'm a Wise One, even though I was never an apprentice. And now I'm the clan chief. So yeah, fuck all of you. So again, like that's really ballsy, which I can appreciate that, especially in a society where she just bypassed all of the cultural norms. For better, for worse, they existed. And she's like, nope, I am these two things and y'all just have to accept them. And the Aiel went, okay, we accept them. So
they were like, everything else is so fucky at this point that might as well.
Well,
she convinced the rest of the Shido Wise Ones to accept it.
Yeah.
And then because the entire clan accepted it.
Yeah.
Then the rest of Aiel had they really couldn't say like you're wrong.
Yeah. They didn't have, I don't think they had throughout the books throughout the rest of the books after Couladin dies, there's no standout male Shido leader.
Right.
So the fact that Sevanna was there and she was just like, you know what? I got it. Like, Jesus, take the wheel. I got it.
I think this is another point on which people sort of villainize Sevanna for just taking over as clan chief. And it's like, first off, what she does is not unheard of. It's very Elida-esque because it's, you know, bare minimum of the law, you know, but it's still a duly legal tradition kind of a thing.
She gets away with the verbiage. She never says, "Oh, I'm the clan chief." No, she says,
I'm
"I
acting.
speak for the clan chief."
Yeah,
Right.
I'm acting.
Because she was married to the clan chief.
Mm-hmm.
And given
So-
that there isn't a new clan chief, she kind
Exactly.
of steps into the role until
Well-
a clan chief can be made, and then also encourages no one to become clan chief.
And here's the other real important thing. Rand goes into Ruidian and comes back out with double dragon tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody goes, "Oh, Karn." And then Couladin goes into Ruidian and comes back out with double dragon tattoos.
Couladin never goes to Ridian.
He never goes.
He doesn't go into the glass columns.
No,
But he makes a show of I'm going, right?
Asmodean gives them to him.
He might make a show of saying he's going to.
He doesn't go through the columns. He does not go
to
through the
Ridian.
columns.
He does not go through the columns.
Yeah.
Correct.
But he makes a show of it, and he comes. And for all anybody knows, he went and comes back. I don't think Sevanna knows at this point in time that Couladin didn't actually go. He comes back to the Al-Kerdal and says, "Look, I've got dragon tattoos, and it's Dawn, and I came with the Dawn. Look, I met with this." And Savannah's like, "Boom, done. This is my guy." And up until this point, there really is no reason to not believe what's happening, other than the fact that you now have two dudes with double dragon tattoos, and it's going, is there going to be a Kara Karnoff? Like, rap battle, let's go, bro.
So he never goes into Ruidion. The Wise Ones interfere with him because whenever Rand returned, when Rand and Matt return, Couladin sees the markings on Rand and accuses him of killing his brother.
Correct.
Or killing Moradin, and then attacks him. The Wise Ones interfere, send him back to the Shido tents, and the next thing they know, the whole of the Shido are leaving.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and
it's not until he shows up.
Doesn't even ask permission, and like two of them already say or one of them says, I think it's Amis. It's either Amis or Mullane say there's only enough of us here to give permission for you to go, and I already say no. So that means it's a foregone conclusion. You are not allowed to go in. Yeah. Plus you still need to wait 2 or 3 more days until your brother comes out to officially make that request anyways, because you haven't waited the 10 full days.
Yeah. Because then that's when they try to go to Colrock's hold. The Roofmistress refuses to allow the Shido in.
Oh, I love
then they go to the Al-Kerdal, which is where he reveals his markings.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, and I believe what was implied, or what he tried to convince everybody, is that between Cold Rocks and Al-Kerdal, he went back without permission.
Well, and regardless, it was all just a setup. So it was a little off of Sevanna.
But I'm talking about from Savannah's point of view.
Mm-hmm.
She's got the dude who she's been betting on. You know, she's been hedging her bets. Admittedly, she's been hedging her bets. Couladin shows up. He's like, "It's Dawn. I'm here. I got double dragon tattoos," and she goes, "I'm sold."
Well, but getting back to a conversation that we had earlier where I asked if you guys thought that Sevanna was there in the meetings with Couladin and Asmodean, I honestly just don't think Couladin's smart enough to really pull any of this off.
No.
So I think it was probably for one way or another, Asmodean's not a dummy. So he probably knows that she's controlling a lot of things, is inviting her in, is like, okay, so here's the plan. Make sure he doesn't fuck it up. Girl, you and I will talk. I'm gonna give him the tattoos, and he can just go jump kick in the air with his tattoos, and we'll plan.
I mean, she has the influence over him to convince him to go and lie about Aiel custom. Because from this point and onward, the Shido's battle cry is that they are the last bastions of the true Aiel culture. They're the only ones keeping true Giotto. Yeah. Even though they massacre it every chance they seem to get.
Do they?
But Savannah's the only one.
Totally do.
Yeah. Sevanna is the only one with enough influence over Couladin, I think, to convince him that it is his duty as an Aiel clan chief to use this to right the wrongs against the Aiel, and to not do so would be against Aiel custom. She's the only one with that kind of manipulation power to use on Couladin.
Yeah.
It's either that or you have to believe that Asmodean compulsed.
Pretty goddamn manipulative.
Huh?
And I don't actually know either way, but I definitely think that Asmodean is well manipulative enough to go ahead and do such a thing.
Oh, that's why I think that he's the one that convinced her of all this. So like knowing that there was already a big antipathy against Rand, and then the clans that were potentially following Rand. So kind of the concept of let the Lord of Chaos rule.
I think
it works as a tool.
Yeah. I think it works better that Sevanna doesn't know and that he's just letting Couladin go nuts, because Sevanna is ambitious, but she's blinded by her ambition, which is honestly the first character flaw that we've come to. She is blinded by her ambition. She now has a situation in which one dude with double dragon tattoos says the Aiel followed the way of the leaf. And you guys are all in violation of that right now, which breaks everything. Just everybody, record scratch. What? And then, of course, Couladin comes up and says, absolutely not. I was told of a history, which is bullshit, given by Asmodean, surely. But Asmodean, Couladin jumps up there and says, no, we were a proud race of warriors from this whole time. Sevanna doesn't know. She's never been. She's avoided going. She's sidestepped going. She's never gone. So she's like, we could not have possibly come from the way of the leaf. That's absolutely ludicrous. Couladin is the clear choice. And most of the Shido say, okay, well, Clan Chief and Roofmistress say this is it. So this is what we do. And they're continuing our way of life, which is what we've always known, which is what we've been bred to do. So cool. That's what we're going to do. I think it works better that Asmodean knew Sevanna's ambition and didn't tell her because he knew her ambition would do the work for him.
Sure.
I don't know.
I still like that they were in cahoots, because Couladin's just was literally too stupid.
Oh yeah, Couladin's dumb as hell. Like, don't get me wrong.
So I feel like Asmodean would want a co-conspirator who like, due to everything you just said, her blind ambition would just, same thing that happens later on with Samael. But
I also love how
completely oblivious.
At the El Cardal, Asmodean leaves the El Cardal as soon as he hears this thing going on where he's like, oh, there's trouble. These other wise ones and clan chiefs don't look like they're believing Couladin's story. Time to go back again. And so I feel like there's even a chance that Asmodean just didn't fill Couladin in, and that he actually even knows the history of the IE.
And look what
fuck.
There's no way. There's absolutely no way that Asmodean or anybody who had not been through the columns could have known or would have known the history. So Asmodean would have known that the Aiel what they looked like, but not known what they morphed into, and then the entirety of their history, or he probably just didn't give a fuck about their culture to know that there was even shame associated with the fact that they would have been associated in any past life with the way of the leaf. So he was just like, all right, there's this Karakarn thing that needs to happen, and go forward in Karakarn.
As our fact checker has dropped into the chat here, Sevanna and Couladin did plan to make their case as Karakarn. Couladin comes up and is like, yeah, I got double dragon tattoos. He was ready to do his thing. Yeah. And when Rand popped in and was like, oh yeah, by the way, I got that too, they were surprised and they were upset because they were hoping that they could establish their own supremacy or
well, they assumed
established
they had time.
role.
They
would
assumed they
have
had time. Yeah.
Yeah.
They assumed that Rand or Ruark actually would follow the well, we'll take a month to get there. Like we've got a month to get to
they're surprised he's there so soon, not surprised by what he shows.
Right.
Yeah.
So but the thing is they, regardless of whether or not Sevanna knows about Asmodean interfering in the process, Sevanna is 100% on board with being like, Couladin has double dragon tattoos. I am betting on Couladin.
Mm-hmm.
We need to now maneuver in and make sure, and you know, she does what Jeff Goldblum accuses us all of. You know, she got so caught up in whether or not she could, she never stopped to think about whether or not she should.
Yeah. Well, but also there's nothing in the prophecies say where you have to get your double, like it just says you're marked twice and twice again. So like who says it couldn't be from a Forsaken? I mean, that's kind of a devil's advocate thought there, but I don't
know. I mean, I think she knows, because if she didn't know that there was fuckery afoot, why would you feel the need?
Character.
Why would you feel the need to get there and campaign to sway people to your side before somebody else shows up?
Because Rand has to do that also, though. Like Rand has to convince people of him. So both sides
but it also
do.
passively happens.
He just
none of them are worried. None of them are worried about Bran showing up and showing that he's the true Karn. There's no concern. There's no push for
because
politics.
the rest of them know he's telling the right story.
But even after that, some of the clans who are there don't immediately follow him. Like they follow behind him, or like, we haven't figured this out yet. So he's got 3 clans following behind him that are a potential rear guard on the Shido. So so this news has passed. So Rand also has to do a lot of convincing.
Yeah, but their hesitation isn't because he's proclaiming himself the Karn. Their hesitation is because of what he revealed from the glass columns.
Well, I still also think they may not accept him as the Karn.
Of course not. If somebody just showed up and told you, that everything you know about your past is not what you think it is, that you actually came from a very subservient, peaceful, avoiding violent society that turns everything you know about your own culture as far back as you can think on its head. And then you got the other guy that's like, that's bullshit. We've always been this way. Which one are you going to gravitate for? You're going to gravitate towards familiarity. That's an easier pill to swallow. And you're going to want to go for the guy that's saying that everything is what it is, whether it's true or not.
And the problem is you also have, it's very well established in Aiel culture that someone does not just pop up and go, I'm the clan chief now, so y'all just listen to me. Anyone who tries that 99 times out of 100 gets their ass kicked, and they get told, come back and see me when you're mature. We're not quite sure how Sevanna gets away with it. Like her willpower, her presence. I mean, she rolled a nat 20 on that persuasion roll.
She definitely rolled a nat 20, but there also is precedence. With the wise ones, we already discussed that, but then also that the Roofmistress can act as the clan chief until another clan. So she's leaning really hard on precedence at that point.
So the point becomes, when it comes with Rand and Couladin sort of, politicking to get people to their side.
Never happened before. The Karn's never happened before. So you've got a clan chief that must be accepted by the clan. You've got a clan chief that has to go through, and they do have certain things that must happen. But the Karn kind of goes, and they're all kind of going, well, shit, what do we do now? Yeah, and he does throw it in their face. He does throw it in their face, like, I am going to break you. I'm going to, break you. I'm going to make you. So it, to Rand's credit, he's not apologetic about it.
Correct.
He's Machiavellian his takeover of the Aiel.
Oh yeah.
Rand comes in and he does all of his evil at the start. Everything that the Aiel would consider abhorrent, culturally abhorrent, socially abhorrent, all the stuff that breaks the Aiel down, Rand does 95% of it at the onset with this revelation.
Yeah.
Then the other 5% being, limiting their actions on the other side of the dragon wall, telling them like, no, you can't just run around and do what you want out here. Which their entire culture has told them, no, you can, because they're all oath breakers.
And that's a great segue to.
Also, do you want some rain in the Aiel Waste? Do you want a lot of rain in the Aiel Waste? Like an absurd amount of rain in the Aiel Waste?
Better call Saul.
Yeah, but that's a Andrew. That's a great segue to Couladin and Sevanna as.
I figured it was a good idea to segue rather than continue to argue about whether Sevanna knew or didn't.
Alcaradar, I know, because we.
But that's actually important to her character, though. Is she willingly working with a deception or not?
Well, I mean, inevitably she does.
Yes, which is why a segue is appropriate. You're good.
Yeah. So, but as so right after Alcaradar, where Couladin, and then I'm assuming Sevanna is really in control. I'm just gonna make that assumption. You guys can debate or just go along with my assumption. Because honestly,
I'm gonna let Daniel have first stab at this one.
I'm okay with going with that one.
I mean, any dissenters?
Not at the moment.
Sorry, what was the question? I fully brain farted just now.
So after, we'll see.
Who's actually in charge of the Shido between the time that the Alcaradal happens and Couladin gets killed at Carrion?
Yeah, so
I mean,
my
Couladin gets killed at Carrion, it's clearly Sevanna, but between the Alcaradal and his death in Carrion, who's actually in control? Is it Couladin just around being a dumb motherfucker, or is it Sevanna going ahead and saying, "Hey, Couladin, you should do this"?
It's puppet government the whole time.
Yep.
Savannah fucking puppets him like Pinocchio before he comes to life.
Well, and I also think she lets him do his worst dreams.
Yes.
So I don't necessarily think that she was the one that was ordering.
If he portrays himself as bumbling idiot, then all the roles she's had prior to him and all the roles she has after him has even more legitimacy, because they're like, whatever she does, as long as she doesn't go as dumb as Couladin, then they'll be like, yeah, this sucks, but it's better than Couladin.
I do,
which is what every political landscape in every country does everywhere. They will accept an absolute fool so long as they don't appear to be as bad as the last fool that was in charge.
I do want to interject here and make one very important distinction. Couladin was an incredibly impressive warrior.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Very respected among the Shido. Obviously respected enough to be a candidate for clan chief. And well respected enough to be accepted when he says, I've got double dragon tattoos, I'm the Karn, and everybody's like, dude's a badass warrior. I believe it.
I like
what happens.
I like the cut of his jib.
When a good mechanic is promoted to a leader? What happens when a good grunt soldier is promoted to a leader? What happens when the movers and shakers are uprooted from what they're good at and put into management? Because management is a different skill set.
Sometimes
this isn't even management. This is leadership, and leadership is very different than management. Also,
I mean,
they either adapt or they absolutely flaunt.
The point being,
that one.
Couladin, up until this point, has never faced a problem he couldn't stab away.
Basically,
now he's leading the Shido, and he's going, "We're just going to keep doing what we do, which is stab." Duh.
Yeah, well, and again, he was probably would have been an excellent clan chief if they were only doing raids and the typical Aiel things, but the environment has completely changed, and
Yep.
he is completely unadaptable to that
And he is
because
way out of his depth.
Because he's good
way,
at one thing.
He's like,
yeah.
Stabbing.
someone's gonna be mad
Which
about
is
this.
A good
It would
thing to
be,
good
it's
at.
it's like the difference between Mad Dog Mattis being a Secretary of Defense or being a general and becoming the president.
Oh
Yes.
General,
Yes.
Secretary of Defense, really good job because you are in your element. You are a military leader. That's all you have to worry about.
I
Becoming
totally
the president.
saw him at the Pentagon one time and I lost my shit. So sorry. Completely, like you brought him up and I just had to.
Even though he
Or
hates the name Mad
Roofmistress
Dog.
Leia with a subtle flex there. Thanks.
I know, right?
Jeez.
I saw the famous person one time.
Not just.
Anyways,
Anyway.
like I know Daniel's probably like whatever. Anyways, but that's a very good way to put it. Like in the same, like you could do the same equivalent with Colin Powell. Colin Powell just didn't want to. Well, he's just like, no, but like this is what I do. This is what I do well, and I don't want to.
And
nor
the
should,
good
nor,
ones.
nor should I be, even though people believe I should be. Nor should I be. He said I should not be president.
The good ones have the wisdom to know the difference. I
Yeah.
am good at this. You're
Mhm.
asking me to do this because I'm good at this. But guys, what you don't know is I'm good at this.
Yeah.
Couladin is good at this, really terrible at this. But
Yeah.
Savannah's like, it's okay, babe. I got you. You can do this.
Well, and actually, I do believe Sevanna could have. Anyways, whatever. Like attempted to bolster him up. Like, well, but it was hard because they weren't married, they weren't doing things. So like I feel like all the complications. Like, I do feel like there was a lot of complications there.
There absolutely were. And this actually comes into a really great point in the story in which Savannah makes a very important decision that detracts glaringly away from Giotto. They march across the Dragon Wall. They loot and pillage, and it's like, cool. This
Murder,
is what the
start
Aiel do.
taking Guy
We
Shane
loot
that
and
are
pillage.
not, yes.
When they start taking Guy Shane from the wetlands, from people who do not follow Giotto, I view this as the first decision that she makes and or writes off and or signs off on that is blatantly, glaringly not okay, but she does so with the justification that the Kara Karn is
Thank
now
you.
the ruler
That was a
of all.
question I was going to ask. Like, do you think that's like that's her
absolutely the justification because
Yeah.
Kara Karn. It's like Batman. How the hell did Batman know that was going to happen? Because he's Batman.
Yeah.
How the hell did you guys justify that? Because Kara Karn.
It's magic. Yeah. Yes, we all do this now. Yeah, no, I very much agree that
That's
her
gonna be a
justification
weave of
is
some
though.
kind.
Should we all do it at the same time? So you
Mask
guys
of
could like
beard.
literally make it. Andrew's like, no, I'm just gonna stroke my beard. Yeah, I think that's a lot of she leans hard even when Couladin's there, because Couladin is the Kara Karn who is again supposed to at that time she's saying Couladin's the Kara Karn, and regardless the Kara Karn is supposed to break and remake the Aiel. So
You know what?
I think Couladin's the victim here. So
I mean, he is. He's a dick, but he's a victim.
he's the victim.
This actually,
He's the one
This
trick
actually-
pony that gets manipulated around the clock and convinced. He gets his ego talked up. He gets all this shit talked up to him, and he's like, "I am." And he finally gets boosted, and he's like, "I am." And then suddenly he loses his head.
do you know? This is something I've never
That is
thought
the
of before.
weirdest way to
It's a
put
thing.
it, but I mean, I don't know if I can argue. I don't like it, but I don't think I can argue with it.
Because doesn't Couladin push back a little against the Wetlanders being Gaishin?
I
We
wouldn't
don't
be
see it
surprised.
directly. I don't think we see that.
Oh, we did.
Now that I can
I
recall.
could be very wrong. I've
I-
misquoted 1,000 things in
Yeah,
my time.
I'm not sure. But there is one thing that I really, really kind of need to throw out here because it's Robert Jordan kind of giggling at us. And he gives, so there, I'm going somewhere with this, so just follow me for 2 seconds. There's an Aes Sedai under Elida who is demoted back to accepted and booted out of the tower. And Egwene has this.
She runs away. She runs away.
Yeah, she runs away. She's like, no, I'm out. Done that.
Yeah.
Egwene has this whole thing of, no. You're Aes Sedai. How the hell did you get demoted? Because you allowed it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Sevanna, time and time again, her position as Wise One, as Roofmistress, like her position is questioned, is threatened, is called to question numerous times. And she finally just says, look, leave me alone. I had the Karakarn with me. I've been calling the shots this whole time. I'm a wise one. And the rest of the wise ones go, okay, you're a wise one.
Well,
and from that moment forth, she's a wise one.
I did have a very, I actually also did write this down, a question about when she became a wise one, because once we start getting her POVs after the Battle of Kyrian, she's already declared herself a wise one. So this is basically pre-Dumai as well, as she's getting ready, prepping to go to talk with the Aes Sedai. So she's already declared herself I am a wise one. And
right.
And again, the fucking cojones on this check is amazing, because she's just nope, I'm a fucking wise one. And the wise one's God damn it, you found our little loophole.
Fine.
Yeah, fine, okay, whatever. Because they can.
But they even look at Avienda and say, if you had figured it out too soon, we would have chastised you.
Yeah, we discussed that earlier.
But somehow Savannah gets away with it.
But just what we were talking about is it's just her confidence. She has this confidence, and that she just goes forward. And again, I would never put her forward as a feminist icon. Because she's
but at the same time,
she's just kind in her own right, she's kind of a badass, because she's just saying there, she's never got wise one's training.
Okay,
wise one, I don't have the qualifications to be a clan chief. I'm a clan chief.
Good, bad, or indifferent, you cannot argue with the fact that Sevanna is a bad bitch.
Yeah.
I mean, now I don't like her.
No, I don't like her at all.
I think she's just a bitch.
Ultimately ineffective, but her confidence is something that's worth looking at and emulating a little bit.
So
but use your powers for good, women in the world out there, please.
That was what I was going to say, because I actually want to throw out there, and this is the one time that I'm going to
don't
spin and
use your powers for evil.
And really make a point that, again, I'm not saying that all traditions and all cultural things and all, whatever are good. They're not. There are some that are actually pretty abhorrent, that have just been around for so long that people just continue to do them.
Yeah.
However, there are also traditions and cultural things and rules and regulations and things like that that are actually kind of important. And to walk in and just say, I fly in the face of all tradition and all rules and all regulation and all culture, again, I do appreciate a confidence. I do appreciate someone who's willing to go after something that they want and achieve it.
still
But there
doing
are
it within the
number-
confines. She's doing it within
No,
the
she's
confines.
not.
She's absolutely doing it within confines, 100%.
No, she is absolutely
established-
flying in the face. She is doing it on precedent, not on tradition. She is doing
We-
it on, the
Which
the
is tradition.
outskirts of the law rather than actually doing it in the law. And again, let me be very, very, very clear. Sometimes the law needs to be broken.
Well, and then maybe this is the
Sometimes
first
those
time that there is a
outskirts
female clan chief. Why wouldn't there be a female clan chief? Because you've
that's
got
not not
Sav-
how it's working.
Savannah is using the card Karn as her ultimate wild card.
Yes, exactly. And to just go ahead and say, I fly in the face of all tradition because Karakarn. I'm not saying that I don't appreciate on a lot of levels the fact that she has that ambition and goes after things she wants. But when she just stands there and says, I'm a wise one, even though I refuse to go to and will never go to the Crystal Columns, even though she says, I am speaking for the clan chief instead of sending someone who's a Shido Aiel to a male Shido Aiel to Ruidian to become a clan chief, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not saying that every time that happens in life or in these books that it's bad. But I am saying that Sevanna really likes to go right to the edge of the law and flirt with the end. And I'm not in agreement with that.
And this is all the moral ethics.
Sure.
So is it for the Aiel or for anyone, is it morally ethical to capture people and enslave them? So Guy Shine were never enslaved. Guy Shine were never enslaved. It was a voluntary time of servitude. So now they've gone and they've actually started enslaving people. And so it
and they defend the wave and go for a card.
But nobody and I think in this nobody can even argue that, because I've seen some people say oh well, Sevanna made the wise ones murder Desane, and then she had this shit was happening way before that. So as soon as they started coming across the spine of the world, they started enslaving, literally enslaving.
Yes,
it's not
correct,
making them Guy Shane, it's enslaving wetlanders. And there was no end of the servitude. There was no we touched you in battle. They completely eliminated all those rules. So but no one said no. So it's not just Sevanna that is responsible for that. It's
the rest of the clan chiefs that went along with it.
Yeah,
Wise ones.
Well, all of them, all of them, all of those,
disagree with that
all of
statement.
those
the
leaders.
Person doing the thing is absolutely hugely culpable for that thing. Now, I'm not saying that the other people aren't
I feel like
so culpable because they never went against it. But to say that it's not her fault, it's their fault for allowing her.
I'm not saying. No, I'm not.
No.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's a larger cultural thing. So, and we do demonize Sevanna for it, but one of the cultural things about Aiel is that you can literally go up to a clan chief or a wise one, probably not a wise one so much, and just be like, this is not right. But the wise ones are the ones that you're supposed to put your faith in. So when the wise ones start saying things right, when the clan chiefs start saying things are right, and nobody goes and questions any of them, that is a larger cultural. That is, again, that's one of the reasons why we love to hate on the Shido. It's not just the Shido are bad. It's no, the Shido did some really fucking shitty things.
So the fun part of all this is because, and I'm just gonna say it right now because I keep trying to offer some perspective that gives me any sort of empathy or any sort of respect for Sevanna. All I can come up with is that she's ambitious, she's driven, and by sheer force of will, she's able to rise to a level of power and presence that is admirable. But ultimately, her leadership sucks.
Yeah.
She makes her first decision that is, I mean, up until this point, she's in an area of gray. It's like, but when she goes to Carrion,
because we've gone back and forth.
Yeah.
Which point are you talking about?
When she goes to Carrion and she starts enslaving people, when she starts taking wetlanders in as Guy Shane and making them run naked because we don't have enough white robes and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
When all of this is happening,
It's pretty shitty.
Couladin dies and she goes, cool. The car, she doesn't say the Karakarn is dead, maybe I should rethink my life choices. She goes, you know what? I've got a backup Karakarn. And she immediately starts like maneuvering to try and get into Rand's like presence, which brings her to Demise Wells, which is where Rand is being, carried.
Well, and there was actually a lot of like shady shit that she did between them.
But that's the point. That's the point. When we talk a lot about where the divergence is. When did a good person become a bad person? When did an ambitious person become a bad person?
Well,
and
as
again, what we find,
go ahead.
Time and time again, what we find is that it's not one decision where you go, I'm going into left field where we've been going over here the whole time. And what it is it's little teeny tiny justifications, little teeny tiny decisions, little teeny tiny things every day that kind of lead you into a direction that is not within the bounds of health or happiness or goodness. And so what we see here is that the first decision that Sevanna signs off on and makes and says cool is that yes, wetlanders can become Kaishin. But because they don't follow Giotto, that just means we get to keep them like forever. That's what we do.
And
we're Aiel.
It's not definitive that she's the one that signed off on. It's not definitive that she's the one that signed off on it. I think all of us are like in agreement in our head canon.
But she didn't explicitly enforce the rules of Giotto.
Well, oh no, and she continues to follow that forward.
Allowing it to happen under your leadership is rule number one of leadership. Everything is your fault.
Well, and
if you allow it to happen or if you can't stop it from happening, it's your fault. Sorry,
another thing I love about her is she's a fucking diva. So she's like, the more servants, the better. And like, these are actually better servants than like the guy Shane aren't servants. So like, I just need people to like tend to my whims and whatever. And just, so that was my attempt at diva. I don't know if that came off well. I'm sure you guys are gonna get like some really
that was Leia's Roofmistress impression or
diva. Fuck you.
I'm done. Good night, guys.
I hate him so much right now.
Sevanna impression. That was Leia's Sevanna impression. That's what I was trying to say. Anyway.
I mean, she is a Roofmistress. But yeah, that being said, yeah. So yeah, so she does basically authorize slavery. Or doesn't speak against it, because again, I think we all agree that she could convince Couladin to do something, and then whether or not it was his idea or her idea, we'll never know. But she continued the practice for years.
She eventually is, so again, she tries to connect herself to Rand. Because she needs that legitimacy of the Double Dragons to continue doing what she's doing. Her plans at Demise Wells are foiled. Ashaman come in, save the day. You're welcome. And God, do you know the thing that gets me is that again, she's blinded by her ambition, right? We've discussed this. She's trying to get with Rand. There's an issue after Demise Wells. They're like, shit, what happened? I don't know what happened.
You said get with. Let's clarify. She's trying to enslave Rand. She
True.
has
For her own legitimacy.
Yes. Yeah, so she's not trying to get with him. Like, she's not like, oh, I'm going to convince him to like.
I don't
me.
know. I feel like Sevanna would be okay with that answer. She just also has a backup plan for forcing him into her plan if she can't convince him that he actually wants to be with her.
Yeah,
I don't think she necessarily walked in there going. This
no,
is
she went straight up like, I am going. There's this thing that can like make him do what I want him to do, and then and that will be, he will be my husband. So that's like that's kind of the epitome of like the rapey thing that she could do.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because you know she's gonna be like, now you gotta now we have to make this official. Like, yeah, right. No, it's not just like, you're my partner, like I'm like forcing you to do these official functions. Like, she would have gone.
And at Demise Wells, Sevanna makes her second gigantic unjustified break from Giotto. She participates in the battle. She takes up a spear.
Actually, that happens beforehand. So the killing of Desane.
That is also true.
Convincing several of her loyal,
I thought that was
wise ones. Oh no,
I thought they were retreating, and she was like killing people. Get back there.
Oh,
well, that happens in the Battle of Demise Wells, but dude, Desane is before.
Actually, yeah. So here we go. Let me give you a little history lesson.
Let's do this.
So she, before the battle, the day or two before the battle, rallies up her loyal wise ones, convinces them that they need to break with Giotto and betray the Aes Sedai. So they're breaking their word,
right,
to the Aes Sedai. So that's one of the first ones. So then they murder one of their own with the power. Yeah, and and this again, this is where Jordan does horror really well. Like, he just doesn't really talk about it, but he talks about it, and then you're just like, your brain can go wherever. So they disassemble.
That's right.
They disassemble Desane, and then
this is no disassemble number 5.
Yeah, right. So then they bring the rest of the wise ones who weren't in on it to confirm that the murder was done with a power. And of course, wise ones don't kill people. But they're like, yeah, no, we just need to participate. Like, we were going to go to battle anyway. So like, we need to get in on this. And also going to battle against, they were just supposed to help escort Rand to the tower. So there's like multiple levels of betrayal here that are breaking treaties, which is again against Giotto. So, and then the wise ones participating is a culmination of it's tradition. It's not necessarily Giotto, but it's a culmination of breaking tradition. So
in that respect, so she says, you know, I don't need Aes Sedai anymore because we have Kara Karn wildcard. Therefore, we can do whatever the hell we want. I can almost see the justification there, though, because these Aes Sedai very clearly have the Kara Karn captive. Which means, in some kind of twisted way, they're going against what they profess to subscribe to. So she's kind of skirting the tradition. She's kind of like, look, guys, she's got some real verbal jujitsu going on right now. and she continually
She
rolls
always
high on
does.
her
She always
charisma
does.
checks.
Savannah always does. Yeah. And she just rolls
But I think-
nat 20s and plus. Yeah.
When it comes to Demise Wells, I think we can safely say, with Demise Wells and the aftermath of Demise Wells, we can safely say Savannah has officially crossed the line and has consciously
Which
crossed
line
the
is
line.
that?
Of between G and Toe. She's no longer operating with G. She's no longer operating in a manner that can be justified as I'm trying to further the cause of the Aiel and the Shido. At this point in time in the story, I believe it's safe to say that we can convict her of self-glory, self-proclamation of glory, and self-promotion, and utilizing the Shido clan to that end. And we start to see, especially with the aftermath of Demise Wells and the scattering of the Shido, we start to see people getting wise to that.
So I can't wait to disagree with you on this one.
So we are actually pretty close here to to the end.
We might
God
need to
damn
do
it.
a
How
part
do we
two.
do this
We
on all of our
might need to do
episodes?
another part.
We will probably need to do another part that is at/post Savannah. But as for the moment, let's go ahead and get just some final thoughts on Savannah. I will go first as far as we've got. So my thoughts on Savannah are definitely, I think that she takes the worst part of ambition and twists it to be the worst part of ambition, where I think that, again, Josh made a point that there is a line, there is a you can't come back from this point, which is where ambition turns to selfishness. Because ambition, the whole point of having that word is that it can be for your own good, it can be, but there's so much else tied up in that. Selfishness is just for you. And it can look a lot like ambition, but it's not. And I think that she goes ahead and messes with the line between ambition and selfishness throughout the entire story, though it does get worse and worse and worse the further along it you continue to read. I've also tried to go ahead and make myself okay with Savannah in some ways, because I do like to try and make even villains understandable to myself. And I just have not been able to do that with Savannah. I come out every time as really hating all of the choices that she made. But I will let somebody else go into different things along those lines. Andrew, do you want to? You haven't gotten a chance to speak in a while. Would you give us your final thoughts?
I think Savannah's a lot simpler than the discussion would lead most people to think. I think she was young, got a taste of power at 16, got a prestigious title at the age of 16, took over for her then husband when he died at 16, and basically within her own sept had essentially absolute power. We all know that absolute power corrupts absolutely. And I think from there, it was just a 16-year-old Savannah. Obviously, she grows up and gets older, but trying to maintain that power and that thirst for power and that expanding desire for power. So, like Daniel said, selfishness, and I think those are her pure motives: the maintenance and acquisition of more power and wealth. And there's parts that we haven't gotten to yet that don't just hint at that; they directly point straight to that, and her attitude. So, yeah.
Cool.
She's a one-trick pony. She's good at manipulating, and that's it.
All right, Josh, go ahead and give us your final thoughts.
Final thoughts on Savannah. I'm not gonna lie. I tried so hard to give her every excuse
But in
and
the
got so far, and in the
like
end,
Sevanna.
it doesn't even matter. Because Sevanna, you're a bitch. You are a terrible person. You're a horrible person. You know, what does Bruce Lee say? That any mistake. Hold on, I gotta Google it. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to. Because I know this when I'm sober. I'm not sober right now. Mistakes are always forgivable if one has the courage to admit them.
Yep.
Bruce Lee. Sevanna, you made mistakes. You never had the courage to admit a single one of them. And you doubled down, and you doubled down, and you doubled down, and you dug yourself into a hole. You should follow the example of Ingtar. And that's all I'm going to say.
Wow. All right, Leia, final thoughts. Tell us why we're all wrong.
Well, she is a terrible person and she did make a lot of mistakes and she fucked up a lot of things. But that being said, again, try what I said at the beginning. So my bottom line up front, I stick with it is I try to find the good things in her and Daniel using ambition in a negative sense. And I thought, I don't necessarily think her ambition was necessarily negative. It eventually turned negative. And I still think that she was thinking, and we haven't even got to the post-human as well, as she still was in her head thinking about the Shido, but it was just in a very skewed way. So she did think about her people and all of that, and it was all completely misguided because multiple reasons. And
That's a can of worms.
She could have been a wonderful, amazing leader. She could have put herself in a good position to do something wonderful that would have been beneficial towards the last battle, but her hubris got up and caught everything up. So all of those positive traits got fucked up by her hubris.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah. So
right.
I still don't like her. I really still don't like her.
Yeah.
But I'm trying
None
to
of
be
us
positive.
do. None of us do.
Yeah. So
all right.
But I do appreciate her more. Again, thank you for your Red Aja breakdown, because
of course.
this has started to make me look at Elida as one of those people okay, well, she's trying to do things and whatever. There's always those people.
What do you mean,
those
people?
Those people. Simmerog. I would love to talk about Simmerog with you guys.
All right.
Maybe
well, we'll go ahead and see about that. Thank you again, Leia, very much for coming on. It was lovely to see you.
Thank you so much.
Please tune in to Threefold Talk on Thursdays. What time is it for the live?
9 p.m. for
9 p.m.
Eastern for the live stream, and it's just on YouTube. Also, if you can't make it,
Always guys. Always a fun time.
We're pretty feisty. We're feisty. True. We're thirsty. And somebody, I think Mass Dagger brought up earlier that I did not mention Butt Rock.
Yes,
we do.
Hashtag Butt Rock.
Yeah, we do have a weekly, multiple times Butt Rock.
Indeed.
No.
All right, but thank you for coming on. It was wonderful to talk to you about this particular subject. Look out for another background breakdown on Sevanna. We will go ahead and figure out who we are getting, whether it is Leia again or whatever.
I would be mad if it's not me.
Again. Hopefully it's Leia again. But from all of us here at the Black Tower, I have been your Amin Khan Mahale Daniel.
I've been your Bajan Mahale Andrew.
I have been your Sorovan Mahale Josh. We thank you for tuning in. We thank you for being orderly while we dispense your weekly dose of taint.
Indeed. And if you are listening live and you are going to be at WatCon this weekend, go ahead and shoot us a line and come say hi. We'd love to go ahead and see you. And if you did not make it to WatCon this year, go ahead and take a look at coming next year, because I imagine that there will be one. And if not, worst case scenario, come to JordanCon. But again, from all of us here at the Black Tower, have a lovely and wonderful morning. And in case we don't see you again, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.